Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Inna, I'm a Twitch streamer and I also do reaction videos here on YouTube. So yesterday on Twitch, chat has mentioned that apparently the bread that you find in the United States is not quite the same as the one that we get here in Europe. To give you some context, I am from Ukraine and I have been living in Italy my whole life. So I spent my life in Europe and I never thought that bread could be different in a way. Like, of course, you can find different recipes, different shapes and all that good stuff, but apparently there's something else going on with the bread that you find in the United States, so I'm very curious to find out what that is. So that's why today we are reacting to the video How the US Ruined Bread. Very interesting title, I have to say. So let's just get into it. I'm very curious to find out. Let's go.
I love bread.
There is so much good bread in France.
And although man doth not live by bread alone, without it the meal seems incomplete.
True.
On every corner, there is a bakery that is pumping out delicious, fresh, well-made bread.
It's so fresh.
This is not easily available to me, and I want to know why. Why is it that the bread that I can get easily looks very, very different? Why is it that the US sucks at making bread? In fact, let me just show you what that looks like.
And by the way, like, in Italy, I live in Milan specifically, but like everywhere in the country, bread like that, like the freshly made, is easily accessible. Like, it's actually part of a routine. Like in the morning, first thing, like if you're not going to work, to the office, you just stop to get some fresh bread from the bakery. That's like normal practice. Same in Ukraine. So I'm very surprised that it's not like that in the United States.
Okay, wait, it's 12 hours earlier, still back in the US. I'm actually at a grocery store right now. This is how a lot of us Americans get our bread. Sigh. My favorite part is when they make this plastic look like it's steaming. It's just like foggy plastic to be like, this was just baked right now. And it's like, no, this was actually baked like 3 weeks ago. And
That's kind of a genius marketing technique. I never thought about that, because we also have those, like this type of bread, we have it in Italy, but I never saw like foggy plastic. There's just like normal see-through plastic. So yeah, interesting to know. And yeah, in Italy we have that as well. Some people get it, but for like toasts and stuff like that, not like as bread that you eat for something else.
this was just baked right now. And it's like, no, this was actually baked like 3 weeks ago in a factory in like Connecticut.
It's even made with real butter.
Always buy Wonder Bread. You'll be glad you did.
The reason I'm purchasing this bread is because I want to bring it with me to France, just to like have an example lesson, and I may use it as a pillow because it's literally as soft as a Nova foam pillow.
Oh my god.
Some of this bagged bread is made with ingredients that are literally illegal in the EU.
Oh yeah, this part, Twitch chat mentioned it yesterday. I'm very curious to find out why these are illegal in Europe.
France, let's do it.
There is nothing more American than Wonder Bread.
I'm going to France.
I love Paris. It's such a beautiful city.
In case you're wondering, yes, any video from Paris must include music like this. Nice, gentle cafe accordion music. There's my composer Tom making it right now.
It's pretty cool.
It's just so good. Okay, so yeah, we know that France is good at bread and the US sucks at it. Is this just another video where I shit on the USA for being terrible at certain things? Yes, it is. It's exactly what it is. But hear me out. I actually have something to say here. I believe that bread is a really important symbol for a bigger cultural phenomenon in the US, and that's what I want to talk about today. Where industrialized bread came from, why it exists, and how some people are trying to change it. I'll get to that explanation, but first I'm going to go into that bakery over there and buy myself a large ball of butter and flour stuffed with chocolate. Oh, and Tom, can you throw in a beat to this accordion music, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any questions?
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant?
Croissant.
Oh yeah.
This video makes me want to visit France again.
12,000 years ago, humans realized that they could plant this grass instead of just foraging for it. This grass was called wheat, and when it was ground up with a stone, it made this powder that, if you put water with it, creates this stretchy, goopy thing that has a bunch of sugar from the flour that's been released. Oh look, all the bacteria in the air love this sugary goop. Nice. And they descend to feast on it, burping out gas as they eat. Whoa, the gas can't float up into the air because it's getting trapped in this stretchy ball of goop, like a balloon, like a pillow, like magic. Magic. All this feasting and burping is making it rise and turn into a pillowy thing that is way bigger than it was. Put this blob next to some fire, and all of the little bubbles that were just created turn hard. Wait, all of this can happen because of this one grass?
My god, I have never heard somebody explaining how bread is made in such a fun way. Who is this guy?
Yes. Cool, let's plant a lot more of this grass and build all of human civilization off of it, said humans. So that is bread, like the oldest and most important prepared food item that humans have ever invented. Eventually, humans got really good at doing this bread, flour, water, yeast thing, and especially here in France, they took it really seriously and have created a whole culture around making bread delicious and amazing. And you can see that they've continued that culture today just by the number of bakeries that exist in this city. There are 30,000 independent bakeries in France. Compare that to the 3,000 that are in the United States. And then remember,
that's insane, because like, of course, US is such a large country and they only have 30,000 independent bakeries. I'm surprised. I thought that number was going to be much, much larger.
That the US has like a much larger population. And if you do all the math, you see that France has 50 times more bakeries per capita than the United States. 50 times. I mean, that is such a clear indication of how much they value good bread that is baked a certain way. Here with Mr. Local over here.
And I'm sure that this doesn't count just for France. Like, I don't know the number of bakeries in Italy, but I'm sure that it's still pretty high. Actually, let's see. Can I figure that out? Sorry, let me see. Italy, number of independent bakeries, I guess. Let's just say bakeries in general. I can't find a number. But number of enterprises in the manufacture of bakery and farinaceous products industry in Italy from 2011 to 2020. Like, this is what I'm looking at. So in 2011, 35K. Now during COVID, it went down to 30K, but it's still a big number. Yeah, so definitely closer to the French number compared to the US number.
Local French food in France.
Yes. 94% of Parisians live less than 5 minutes away from a bakery.
I mean, I do too. I'm pretty sure that I can reach at least 2 bakeries walking distance, like 5 minutes. Not bad, not bad. And I'm pretty sure that like it's like that in most Milan.
And that shows you they care. They care. It's like you hear stuff like that and you're like, this is their priority.
Yeah.
And the culture of eating is just as much important here as how like the ingredients are sourced and prepared and whatnot.
Yeah.
People don't eat while rushing towards their next meeting or whatever. Like, it's very much, no, you sit down, you make it a thing. It's just a part of the way of life here.
Yeah.
In Italy, it is like that for some people, not as much for others. Like, I never do that. Let's just get bread in the bakery and eat it. Like, I usually just buy it and take it home. But it really depends. Like, if you're out with friends, instead of going into a bar, you can go into a bakery, have a coffee and something that they bake there. So like that would be different, yeah.
People come into the boulangeries almost on a daily basis, and they check in with each other. It's like, hey, how you doing? You know, I'm doing great. This is what's happening.
Why? That is the question. Why are these bread cultures so different? And the answer, comes down to what America was founded on. I mean, a reminder that
Capitalism?
America is a country founded by a bunch of people who left their country to go make a new life, to do things differently, to do things more individualistically. And the way that expressed itself for a really long time was mechanization, industrialization. And to be clear, in the history, Britain was as much to blame for all of this mechanizing of bread as America was.
That's insulting.
But anyway, we're talking about the USA for a little bit. So by the 1920s, you had this machine that was invented, an automatic bread slicer. Hello, convenience, innovation, America. No more serrated knife versus a tough, crusty loaf. Now the machine will do it for you. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh.
This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh my god.
For you. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, so that's where we're at. This is the greatest thing, says America. And Europe was like, wait, yeah, we like machines too, but like not for bread. Slice this bread and you make your bread spoil faster. We don't need a machine for sliced bread. But the automatic slicer was just the beginning for America.
No, I'm just getting warmed up.
Now that we have sliced bread that, yes, spoils faster, let's make it, I don't know, not spoil as fast.
Oh, so you add stuff to preserve it better, conservatives and stuff. Are these the ones that are illegal in Europe? There might be.
Do this is to take the part of the wheat berry that has oils in it, the husk and the bran, and get rid of it. Focus on the big carb-loaded berry in the middle.
Oh.
But there had to be a more industrial solution to make the bread last longer, to be whiter, to be softer. And it's the 1950s, and Europe is like, whoa, dude, America, chill out. Like, bread is just bread. We've been doing this for literally tens of thousands of years. Let's just, like, stick to the program. And America's like, no. So America starts adding all of this stuff to their bread, bleaches and dough conditioners. And suddenly they're putting their bread into controlled chambers so that it will be hot enough to rise faster. And they're putting preservatives in so that their bread can now sit on a shelf for not just 1 or 2 days like it should, but 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, a whole week, and it's still soft. It is still white. It is still spongy and delicious. But
on the delicious part, I have some comments. Cause like, I get that the bread that we have in supermarket that looks similar in package to the United States one is not the same apparently, because of everything that it's being explained. However, in Italy, the bread that you get in the supermarket on the shelf, the one in the plastic bags, cannot absolutely compare to the normal bread that you get in a bakery. Like, these are two different products, in my personal opinion. So how can you say that that is delicious? Like, you obviously never tried the bakery one. Like, that one is good for toast. Like, you toast it and it's not as bad. It's good for some specific things, but it ain't it. It's not it. It's not it. So delicious depends.
Now has 15 ingredients instead of 3, and it's cheap and convenient and stable, and America is loving this, and Europe is like, whoa, you took this way too far. This is not bread anymore. And indeed,
what did I just say? They do not compare. They not compare. Nope.
I would argue that this is not bread anymore. This is a bread-like substance. It's a different product made from a different process, and yet we use the same word for it. If you want to know more about what's inside of this kind of bread, I was actually here making this video when I stumbled upon a video from one of my favorite YouTubers, Adam Ragusia, that's like a deep dive into all of the ingredients in this kind of industrial bread. Definitely go check it out. Some bread in the US has taken it so far that they will put in additives that keep it spongy and soft, or that keep it really white, even though these additives are known to like cause cancer and inflame asthma and do all of these terrible things.
Why?
Many of these additives that are legal to be put in American bread are literally illegal in Europe and many other countries. Azodicarbonamide is one of them. This is a whitening agent. But you know what? This product, ADA, also helps other things stay softer, like yoga mats. ADA is in yoga mats to make them spongy and soft, and it is banned in the EU and many other countries.
Wait, I'm not even gonna say anything, but it just sounds insane.
Our obsession with convenience, cheapness, softness, shelf life has led us down a really dangerous path, and yet we're totally okay with it somehow. This is why I think bread is a useful symbol for broader American culture. It shows us how far we're willing to go to prioritize things like cheapness and convenience over tried and true methods that have been baked into culture.
Baked.
Of course, industrialized bread exists here as well. It doesn't have some of the carcinogenic ingredients that are not allowed in the EU, but it still has all of the dough conditioners, bleaches, still artificially risen, all of that.
Also, even in Europe, we have bleach in the industrial bread. Nice.
Difference is that it is rare. It is much more rare here. What is much more common is the ability to go to your local bakery and get bread that only has a few ingredients. And it's the ingredients that humans have been using for tens of thousands of years to make this staple food.
The feeling that I generally have is that this is how it should be. And then when I go elsewhere and you have other kinds of bread that last kind of bizarre amounts of time, you know, you're like, this is not really how it should be. You get calibrated to kind of this new standard here, and it kind of ruins you.
Turns out Paris is low-key one of the most bikeable cities I've ever been in, but it used to not be like that. Like last time I was here, it was not this bikeable. I smell some urban design policy changes afoot here.
Someone tried.
Same in Milan, just as if anybody's curious, same in Milan. The city is adding lots of biking lanes and all that good stuff to be more sustainable for bikers. But they still drive in the road, even when there's a bike lane right next to it. I hate that.
I tried to change this in the US a few years ago. A company called Panera
What could be better than a visit to Panera Bread?
tried to bring like European bread culture to the United States. And they did. They had high quality, delicious bread. But what happens next is potentially the best metaphor for America.
Hello, I like money.
They got a business loan so they could expand. And then they got investors and they started to expand and scale. And then they were purchased in a massive merger. And now they're planning to go public on the public stock exchanges. Like they just became a massive corporation who does not focus on making quality artisan bread. Instead, they're now just a machine pumping out bread that kind of looks and feels like European bread, but is now done in a uniform, mass-produced, industrialized process, all in the name of scale and profit.
Wow, I have it. Canned bread.
So the question is, why does this matter? Like, am I just being a snob who's like, traditional bread is better and therefore everyone should have it and I hate America?
That was snobby. You're a snob.
No, I'm not.
Kind of, yeah. But also, it actually makes a difference in how it goes into your body. The beauty of bread always was that you could put this goop out in the air and bacteria would come down and start to feast on it and kind of start the digestion process. That is what natural fermentation does, is it starts to break down the wheat and make it ready to go into your body. The way that we make bread in America doesn't really leave time for this. We use heat and chemicals to speed this process up, to make it rise faster, to make it rise bigger in an artificial, synthetic way. And so you're actually getting a much inferior product to what original bread making looks like and what it produces. Yes, it lasts longer. Yes, it tastes like chewy, pillowy, sugary heaven, but it's not bread the way that humans have been eating it for tens of thousands of years. Convenience, scale, independence, that is what we love in America. We love shelf life. We love industrialized efficiency. And to me, yeah, all that stuff is super great because it means we get to live these wonderful, prosperous, convenient lives. But I think we lose something really big when we focus on those as the priorities as opposed to quality and community and culture. Last thing I'll say here is that this is slowly changing. You have a movement in the US of people making some of the best bread in the world using the most traditional methods and ingredients. In these big cities, you have amazing bakeries doing bread that is on par with anything you could get in Europe. And that kind of blows my mind. The problem is, and my critique, is that that is still so rare and specialty and really only available to people who live in big urban areas. And meanwhile, the rest of us, The most accessible bread to us is this industrial, mass-produced garbage.
Belongs in the trash.
And that
he threw it away.
Is enough to make me pretty frustrated.
That was a very nice video. Very nice video. This is the first video that I watch of this guy. Let me subscribe. Yeah. Okay, so that kind of opened my eyes, because I thought that it was just about some of the chemicals, some of the preservatives that they put there, but I didn't realize that bakeries, like actual bakeries, basically don't exist. Like there's such a small number of them, and yeah, so like this really opened my eyes, and now I'm kind of curious to see what other food differences there are. Like, of course, I know that in Europe you have European cuisine, like all the different countries, same for United States, but like I'm genuinely curious about finding out these I don't even know how to say it in, like, to put it in words, like these differences between cultural approaches when it comes to food. Like this for me is like a big cultural approach, so very curious to find out. Do you know any examples of these? If you do, make sure to leave them in the comments down below, because I would like to check them out. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.